Hello everyone, how are you all? I hope you are all good. So students, in this video we will be discussing important current affairs for the 4th week of the November month. Session will be quite interesting and important. Also students, if you are new to our channel and haven't subscribed to us, do subscribe as we are one-stop solution for current affairs. We provide weekly current affairs, monthly current affairs and topic wise on regular basis, and our daily current affairs video is uploaded at 5 a.m. in the morning on regular basis.
Welcome to AffairsCloud. My name is Vikas Rana. We are one-stop solution for current affairs. You can find our Crack Current Affairs course on our application exclusively for current affairs, where you will be getting daily, weekly and monthly current affairs on regular basis. You can use code VIKAS10 to get additional 10% discount while purchasing the course. This video is available both in English and Hindi. The timestamp for both English and Hindi are mentioned in the description of each video. You can contact us on the number provided or mail provided. Also follow us on Telegram and Instagram, and the link for the same is provided in the description of each video. Also students, we have started a new initiative that is of handwritten notes. It is helpful to understand the news daily, time saving and very useful for your revision. We aims to cover 15 questions via handwritten notes in upcoming bank exams. These handwritten notes are available on daily current affairs content PDF at our mobile application and website careerscloud.in. Only our Crack Current Affairs subscribers will be able to access these handwritten notes. A sample PDF of the handwritten notes will be available in the description.
Let's start with the content. According to the 24th edition of the Periodic Labour Force Survey Quarterly Bulletin, the unemployment rate in the urban areas has decreased from 6.6% to 6.4% in the second quarter of FY25. Right, the unemployment rate among the females that are aged 15 years and above has decreased to 8.4% in the second quarter of FY25. That was 8.6% in the same quarter, that is the second quarter of FY24. Whereas if we talk about the unemployment rate in the case of males aged 15 years and above, it has decreased from 6% to 5.7% as compared to last year's second quarter. Next, who has recently launched the Grievance Redressal Assessment and Index, that is GRAI 2023. It was launched during the National Workshop on Effective Redressal of Public Grievances that was held in New Delhi. So right option is Jitendra Singh. Correct. He has launched this Grievance Redressal Assessment and Index 2023. Now if we talk about this, remember this workshop, it was organized by whom? It was organized by DARPG, that is your Department of Administrative Reforms and Public Grievances. The first edition of GRAI was launched in 2022, right? And this time GRAI, it is the third edition of this that was launched. Next, which company has recently partnered with Atal Innovation Mission of Niti Aayog to launch its 4th cohort of Community Innovators Fellows? So right option is Capgemini. They have recently partnered with Atal Innovation Mission of Niti Aayog, right? And this is aimed at fostering innovation and empowering the local innovators to create a sustainable solutions for their communities. Each fellow here will be receiving a grant of 1 lakh rupees. 1 lakh rupees to carry out their innovation. Next, which cluster has recently joined the World Economic Forum's Transitioning Industrial Cluster Initiative to drive economic growth, create jobs and reduce carbon dioxide emissions? It is AM Green Kakinda cluster. Correct. So this is the cluster that has joined the World Economic Forum Transitioning Industrial Cluster Initiative. Here AM Green Kakinda cluster, it will represent an investment of $3 billion. It is projected to create more than 10,000 direct and indirect jobs. This operation will begin in 2026 with the aim of zero carbon dioxide emissions. Next, which company has recently partnered with Yes Bank Limited and National Payment Corporation of India, that is NPCI, to launch their co-branded credit card? It is Rio Money. Rio Money is a Bangalore, Karnataka based fintech company, and they have partnered with NPCI to launch a co-branded credit card by the name Yes Bank Rio Rupee Credit Card. Correct. So Rio Money partnered with Yes Bank, and one more thing, it is Yes Bank and NPCI. So these three are in partnership here. Next, in November, 24 coastal villages from which state were officially recognized as tsunami ready by Intergovernmental Oceanographic Commission of UNESCO. It is Odisha state. Important question. Next, which of the following national parks was recently notified as the 56th Tiger Reserve of India? Also remember, recently Prime Minister has congratulated the conservation efforts of tiger as the population of tiger in India is rising, right? And also coming back, the national parks, right? We are talking about it. So which is the 56th national park of India? It is Guru Ghasidas Tamor Pingla Tiger Reserve, right? That is the 56th Tiger Reserve now. Where it is located? It is located in the state of Chhattisgarh. Right? Take a note of this. Where is it located? Chhattisgarh. And now it has also become the third largest tiger reserve of India. Right? Which is the largest tiger reserve if we talk about? This is your homework. Largest tiger reserve of India. Tell me. Also tell me the state where this largest tiger reserve is located. Next, which country has recently developing the Iron Beam, a laser-based defense system designed to counter the aerial threats? So it is Israel, and it has come very handy to Israel because they are able to escape from large number of missiles that are being fired at them because they are currently in war with various countries, right? So what is the name of that system? Iron Beam, and developed by Israel. Can you tell me the name of a similar kind of weapon system that has been developed by India, right? So tell me that also. This is your homework, second homework question. Next, name the portal that was launched during the India Water Week 2024 held from 17th to 20th of September in New Delhi. The name here is Bhu-Neer portal. Portal means a website. It was launched by Chandrakant Raghunath Patil, our Union Minister of Jal Shakti, and he digitally launched this Bhu-Neer portal during the closing ceremony of the 8th edition of the India Water Week that was held from 17th to 20th of September. Where was it held? At Bharat Mandapam in New Delhi. This Bhu-Neer portal, it was developed by Central Groundwater Authority under the Ministry of Jal Shakti in collaboration with NIC, that is your National Informatics Center. This platform will be a one-stop solution that will be measuring and regulating your groundwater resources. This will maintain transparency, efficiency and sustainability. Next, where was the first edition of Sagar Manthan, the Great Oceans Dialogue, that is the South Asia's largest maritime thought leadership summit was held from where? It was held from 18th to 19th of November. Question asked here that where was this held? What is the location of it? Where was it held? It was held in New Delhi. This event focuses on blue growth, that is your blue is basically your ocean maritime sector, right? So this Sagar Manthan, the Great Oceans Dialogue, will focusing on blue growth, green and blue growth, coast and communities development, maritime sector development, right? And remember, this is the South Asia's largest maritime thought leadership summit. Where was it held? In New Delhi. In New Delhi too, it was at ITC Maurya. Next, according to the Climate Change Performance Index 2025, India was ranked what with an overall score of 67.99 on a list of over 60 countries. So India was ranked here 10th in the Climate Change Performance Index, right? This index has left the first three places empty as no country has performed well enough that they can be placed in an overall category of very high in the top three. Which is the fourth position here? Fourth position was secured by Denmark. Fifth position was secured by Netherlands, right? And on 10th position was our India, right? So take a note of this. Also remember this Climate Change Performance Index for 2025. Where was this released? This was released during the COP29 summit that was held where? It was held in Baku, Azerbaijan. Next, who has been recently honored with the Indira Gandhi Peace Prize for Disarmament Development? I repeat, who has been recently honored with the Indira Gandhi Prize for Peace, Disarmament and Development 2023 along with Ali Abu Awad. So Ali Abu Awad was honored, and along with him, who? Daniel Barenboim, right? They both were honored here, correct? If we talk about Daniel Barenboim, he is a very world famous pianist and a conductor, whereas Ali Abu Awad, He's a Palestinian peace activist. They both were honored Indira Gandhi Prize for Peace, Disarmament and Development 2023. Right? Take a note of this. Next is who was recently appointed as the Prime Minister of Uzbekistan. So Abdul Nigamtovich Aripov has been appointed as the new Prime Minister of Uzbekistan, and this is for the third consecutive term. Next, who has been recently re-elected as the Prime Minister of Japan? So Shigeru Ishiba has been re-elected as the Prime Minister of Japan. Next, which laboratory was recently developed indigenous technologies for manufacturing silicon carbide wafers and fabricating gallium nitride high electron mobility transistors along with monolithic microwave integrated circuits. So which is that laboratory? It is your solid state physics laboratory, right? And remember two things, that is your silicon carbide wafers and gallium nitride high electron mobility transistors will be developed here. Next, which country's hockey team has recently won the Women's Asian Championship Trophy 2024? So it is our India's women's hockey team that has won the Women's Asian Championship Trophy 2024. We defeated we defeated China in the final, and this marks India's third Women's Asians Championship Trophy title. Also, this was the 8th edition of the Women's Asian Trophy Championship title that was held where? It was held in Bihar. Next, who has recently retired from professional tennis after Davis Cup finals in Malaga, Spain? So Rafael Nadal, right? He is from Spain first thing. He plays which sports? He plays tennis, right? And Rafael Nadal in Davis Cup was the final event where he participated. Davis Cup was also held in Spain only, but now he has taken retirement. Next, which anniversary has been recently celebrated with the release of a commemorative stamp in honor of Vattal temple? So which anniversary has been celebrated? It was the 200th anniversary of the Vattal temple, during which a special stamp was also released to honor the role of Sri Swaminarayan Sampradaya. Right, this temple serves as a spiritual capital of the Sri Swaminarayan Sampradaya. Next is, where was the first Asian Buddhist summit held from 5th to 6th of November 2024? So it was held in New Delhi. Right, the theme of this summit was role of Buddha Dhamma in strengthening Asia. And here President of India Draupadi Murmu ma'am was the chief guest. Next, who has been recently re-elected as the President of World Sailing? So Lee Kuan Hai, right, was re-elected as the President of World Sailing for a 4-year term. Next, name the Pan-India Coastal Defense Exercise that was conducted by Indian Navy in 2 phases. The name of the exercise is Sea Vigil. This is the 4th edition of this exercise, right? This coastal defense and security readiness exercise, it was conducted in 2 phases, right? Next is, which department under the Ministry of Finance has recently revised the capital restructuring guidelines for central public sector enterprise to enhance operational flexibility, shareholder returns and regulatory changes? It is your Department of Investment and Public Asset Management. Right. Also, these guidelines will also apply to the subsidiaries of CPSEs where the parent CPSE holds more than 51% stake. Also, CPSEs, they must pay a minimum annual dividend of 30% PAT, that is your profit after tax, or 4% of their net worth, whichever is higher. Next, which organization has recently released the report that is Charting New Paths for Gender Equality and Empowerment Asia Pacific Region Report on Beijing Plus 30 Review, stating India struggles with limited effectiveness of its gender response budgeting? So which organization has released this report? It was released by United Nations Economic Social Commission for Asia and Pacific, that is your UN ECOSOC. Next, which country has recently become 104th full member of International Solar Alliance? It was initiated in 2015 by India and France, and recently, which is the country that became the 104th member of International Solar Alliance? It is Armenia. Next, which bank has recently partnered with UNICEF to enhance the disaster resilience and climate risk management through the initiative Disaster Resilient Communities and Climate Risk Informed Efficient Administrative System? So, which bank? It is IndusInd Bank. They have recently partnered with UNICEF. Next, which organization has recently signed an implementation agreement with Australian Space Agency for strengthening the cooperation in space activities between both the countries? So, which is it? It is Indian Space Research Organization, that is ISRO. They have signed this implementation agreement. It was with Australian Space Agency, right? And it is to work on the space activities together. Basically, here they both organizations will be working on the Gaganyaan mission, that will be the country's first human spaceflight program. Next, name the China's first commercial uncrewed space plane that was recently unveiled at the Zhuhai Air Show in China. It is Skydragon. Correct. Next, who is the author of the book Ma Mother that was recently released by Law and Justice Minister Arjun Ram Meghwal? So, Dr. Devendra Kumar Dodhawat. Right, he is Arjun. This book is authored by Dr. Devendra Kumar Dodhawat, the additional secretary to the government of Kerala. And this book basically contains the illustration of motherhood in the form of poets, in the form of poems that are written both in Hindi and English. Next is, according to Sustainable Trade Index 2024, what was the rank of India globally with an overall score of 24 out of 100? So, India stood at 23rd position in the Sustainable Trade Index. As per the Sustainable Trade Index, New Zealand emerged as the most sustainable country for the third consecutive time. Next, according to RBI's data on 20th of November, the net inflows through the external commercial borrowing have increased from 6.8 billion in the first half of April to September for FY24, and it has been increased to how much? To $7.9 billion in the first half of FY25. Next, which bank has recently signed a memorandum of understanding with Maldives Monetary Authority for establishing a framework to promote the ease or the use of local currencies for the cross-border transactions? So, between India and Maldives, the local currencies will be promoted, use will be promoted in local currency, trade will be done in local currencies. So, which bank has recently signed an MOU? It is Reserve Bank of India that has signed this MOU with the Maldivian Monetary Authority. Next, which bank has recently partnered with the Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare along with Bharat Financial Inclusion Limited to launch Bharat Sanjeevani Krishi Uttham initiative? So, for this, launching this Bharat Sanjeevani Krishi Uttham initiative, which bank has partnered with Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare? It is IndusInd Bank Limited. Right, a memorandum of understanding was signed for this collaboration that was signed by Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare between BFIL, that is Bharat Financial Inclusion Limited, IBL, right, and IndusInd Bank. Next, who has recently took over as the president of FICCI for 24-25? So, Harsha Vardhan Agarwal has been appointed as the president of FICCI. He will be succeeding whom? He will be succeeding Anish Shahahat. Next, which country has recently celebrated 75 years of diplomatic relations with India? So, Philippines has recently celebrated 75 years of diplomatic relations with India. Next, who has recently inaugurated 125th birth anniversary celebration of Utkal Kesari Dr. Hari Krishna Mehtab in New Delhi? So, Draupadi Murmu ma'am. He also here Dr. Hari Krishna Mehtab also received Sahitya Academy Award in 1983. Next, the Network Readiness Index published by the Portulans Institute and Said Business School at the University of Oxford has ranked Dash country as the world leader in the network readiness. So, which country has been emerged as the world leader in the network readiness? It is USA, United States of America. Singapore was ranked second, followed by Finland at the third position. Next, according to the State of the World's Children report, a global flagship report of UNICEF titled The Future of Childhood in a Changing World, the global child population will stabilize at around how much? So, global child population will be stabilizing at 2.3 billion and in 2050. Next, in November, SEBI issued a circular abolishing the earlier requirement mandating issuer companies to deposit dash of the public issue size with stock exchanges before launching the public issue. So SEBI issued a circular abolishing the earlier requirements mandating issuer companies to deposit 1% of the public issue size with stock exchanges before launching the public issue. Next, RBI increased the maximum transaction limit for UPI 123 Pay from 5,000 rupees to it has been increased to 10,000 rupees with effect from 1st of January 2025. And for UPI Lite, the UPI wallets limit has also been increased from 2,000 rupees to 5,000 rupees. Next, who has recently been honored with the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Global Peace Award for Minority Upliftment in Maryland, USA. So, who recently honored here? Narendra Modi was honored here with this Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Global Peace Award for working towards the upliftment of minority communities in India. Next, who has been recently appointed as the Prime Minister of Lithuania? So, Ginatas Palukas has recently been appointed as the Prime Minister of Lithuania. Next, which company has recently completed the 9th human spaceflight and 28th flight for New Shepard program? It is Blue Origin. Take a note of it. Next, who has recently won the 2024 Las Vegas Grand Prix that was held at the Las Vegas Strip Circuit in Nevada, USA? So, who recently won it? It was won by George Russell. And here, Lewis Hamilton was on the second position. Carlos Sainz Jr. was on the third position. Next, which bank acted as a partner of the G20 in 2024? So, NDB, New Development Bank, acted as the partner of the G20 in 2024. Next, in November 2024, TCM Sports Management secured the exclusive commercial sponsorship rights for all Asian Cricket Council Asian Cup tournament until which year? Until 2031. Next, which organization has recently published the report that is enhancing domestic cooking coal availability to reduce the import of cooking coal that advocated cooking coal to be included in the list of the critical minerals? So, to add cooking coal in the list of the critical minerals, which organization published a report? It was published by Niti Aayog. Next, which news magazine has recently organized the 6th edition of Sahitya Aaj Tak, a prestigious literary festival in New Delhi? It is India Today. Correct. And remember, Draupadi Murmu ma'am, correct, she graced the 6th edition of this Sahitya Aaj Tak, a prestigious literary festival organized by India Today Group. This was held at the Major Dhyan Chand National Stadium in New Delhi. Next, where was the 11th edition of the Asian Defence Ministers Meet Plus held from 20 to 22nd of November 2024? It was held in Vientiane, PDR. Next, in November, RBI infused how much fund? So, RBI has infused funds worth 25,000 crore rupees through variable repo rate into the banking system so that the risk decreases. Next, or we can say in order to provide liquidity. Next, which bank has recently become a signatory to the Partnership for Carbon Accounting Financials? It is PNB, Punjab National Bank, right? New Delhi based PNB became a signatory to the Partnership for Carbon Accounting Financials. Their commitment to climate responsibility and sustainability. Apart from this, PNB, they have disclosed their financial emissions in the FY24 Business Sustainability Report, correct, that they are using this PCAF standard. Also, it was Union Bank of India that became the first bank to adopt this PCAF framework. Which book has recently won the 7th edition of the JCB Prize for Literature? It is Lorenzo Searches for the Meaning of Life. It has recently won the 7th edition of the JCB Prize for Literature. Next, who has recently won the Kamala Devi Chattopadhyay National Innovation Foundation Book Prize for 2024? Ashok Gopal has won the Kamala Devi Chattopadhyay National Innovation Foundation Book Prize for 2024. Next, who has been recently elected as the 43rd president of Uruguay? So, Yamandu Ramon Antonio Orsi Martin has been appointed as the 43rd president of Uruguay. Next, which country has recently won the Davis Cup 2024? That was held in Spain. So, Italy has won this title. This was 112th edition of the Davis Cup, and during this event, it was the last event for Rafael Nadal. Next, where was the world's largest coral been recently discovered? So, in the Solomon Islands of Pacific Ocean, world's largest coral world's largest coral has been discovered. This mega coral is 32 meters long and 34 meters wide. So that's all for and also remember these corals, this coral is expected to be around 300 years of age. So that's all for the day, students. Now let's move to some revision part that will be beneficial in your learning.
Next, which ministry has recently launched the standard operating procedures on White Revolution 2.0 in New Delhi to boost the India's dairy sector? So it is which ministry? It is Ministry of Corporation, right? On 19th of September, Amit Shah, who is our Union Home Minister, he has recently, and he is a Union Minister of Corporation also, he has launched standard operating procedures on White Revolution. White Revolution. This is 2.0 and this is White Revolution is for milk or dairy products. And if you remember who is known as the father of White Revolution, Verghese Kurien. Correct? This will be a 100 days long initiative that will help us to boost the dairy sector of our India, and the target here is to generate more than 1000 lakh liters of milk over the next 5 years. Next is which scheme has recently completed 6 years of successful implementation emerged from the National Health Policy 2017. It is Ayushman Bharat Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana. Right, it is one of the key components of Ayushman Bharat, that is a flagship scheme of the government of India, which emerged from the National Health Policy of 2017, and it has recently completed 6 years of successful implementation. So we can say this National Health Policy, it was also this Ayushman Bharat Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana was launched when? It was launched on 23rd of September in 2018 by Prime Minister Narendra Modi in Ranchi, Jharkhand. And this scheme is being implemented by National Health Authority that comes under the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. This Ayushman Bharat Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana is the largest health assurance scheme in the world. Under this scheme, a health insurance of 5 lakh rupees per family is provided. Next, as per the third advance estimate of the area and production of various horticulture crops for financial year 24, the total horticulture production in India for FY24 is projected to be around how much? It is projected to be around 353.19 million tons. And this is as per the third edition of the advance estimates for FY24. This is the total horticulture production that is expected. And we are seeing a decrease of 0.6% as compared to the last year, that is FY23. Also, the total area under horticulture crop has expanded to 28.98 million hectares of area. Next, which organization has recently collaborated with Indian Army and hosted 2 major events? These are the important events, and I want all the students watching this video to take a note of this. HIM Drone-a-thon and HIMTech 2024. Where they were hosted? They were hosted in the states of Ladakh. This is also important. Now let's move to this HIM Drone-a-thon. As we know that hackathon is there, right? What is a hackathon? A problem statement is given, and on the basis of that problem statement, various solutions is provided. Correct? So similarly, this HIM Drone-a-thon, this is a type of a hackathon only that is based on drones. And here various problem statements related to the drones will be provided, and solutions for that will be provided by various organizations. Right? This was held from 17th to 18th of September in 2024. It was held at Varila, that is in Leh. Then if we talk about this HIMTech, remember this HIMTech basically it is focusing on cutting edge technologies, various products, various solutions for our high altitude areas. Correct? So technologies related to high altitude areas were discussed under this event HIMTech, and HIM Drone-a-thon, where drones related problem statements was provided. So which organization has collaborated with Indian Army for this? It is FICCI, that is Federation of Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Next is name the country that has recently become the first country in the world to receive the WHO verification for eliminating leprosy. Right? So it is Jordan. Correct? WHO, they officially verified Jordan as the first country in the world to have eliminated leprosy disease. This leprosy disease is also known by the name Hansen's disease. Right? This is a chronic infectious disease that is caused by bacteria by the name Mycobacterium leprae. This is the name of the bacteria with which this leprosy is caused. Next, in September, Indian delegation led by Arunish Chawla, the Secretary of the Ministry of Culture, participated in the special session of G7 Ministers meeting on culture that was held where? It was held in Naples, Italy. Right? And here during this session, the Naples statement was signed on the culture for sustainable development of Africa and the world. This is basically to promote the culture as a driver of sustainable development in the Africa continent. Right? Here sustainable development goals will be followed, and it is the agenda of 2030 of United Nations that will be majorly focused upon. Next is which company has recently collaborated with Tata Electronics Private Limited to launch India's first domestically produced semiconductor chips by 2026. So which is that company that has collaborated with Tata Electronics Private Limited? It is TCS, that is Tata Consultancy Services. Right? This aligns with India's Indian semiconductor mission. Apart from this, remember Maharashtra is the state where the manufacturing of semiconductor chips has started. This is the first state. Apart from this, it is Assam and Gujarat. These are the two states where Tata is focusing on developing the semiconductor production, and we will be seeing that by the early of 2026 or by the end of 2025 the manufacturing of the semiconductor chips will also begin. Also remember, Gujarat is known as the semiconductor hub of India.
Next, who has been recently appointed as the chairman and managing director of Hindustan Aeronautics Limited? So D.K. Sunil. He has been appointed as the chairman and managing director of HAL. He will be succeeding whom? He will be succeeding whom? He will succeed C.B. Anantha Krishnan. Right? And remember his position here or his term will start from 1st of September 2024. Next, who has been recently appointed as the chief secretary of Bihar? So Amrit Lal Meena appointed as the new chief secretary of Bihar. He will be succeeding whom? He will be succeeding Brijesh Mehrotra. Next, who was recently appointed as managing director of NABARD Consultancy Services? So Y. Hara Gopal has been appointed as managing director of NABARD Consultancy Services. Next, who has recently become the first Indian to be officially named as the Foundation Ambassador of International Table Tennis Federation Foundation? So Sharat Kamal Achanta has been appointed as has become the first Indian to be officially named as the Foundation Ambassador of ITTF Foundation. Next, who has been recently appointed as the new Prime Minister of France? So Michel Barnier has been appointed as the new Prime Minister of France. Next, who was recently recommended for the position of Managing Director of SBI by FSIB, that is Financial Services Institution Bureau? So who was recommended? Rama Mohan Rao Amara. He was recommended for the position of Managing Director of SBI by FSIB. Who is the chairman of SBI? C.S. Sethi. Next, who was recently named as the member of the Board of Securities and Exchange Board of India? That is, who was named recently as the member of the board of SEBI? So Deepti Gaur Mukherjee was named as the member of the board of SEBI. Next, who was the first Indian to be elected as the president of Olympic Council of Asia in September 2024? So Raja Randhir Singh has become the first Indian to be elected as the president of the OCA in September 2024. Next, who has been recently appointed as the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of IFCO Tokyo General Insurance Company Limited. So, who he will be? Tell me who has been appointed as MD and CEO of IFCO Tokyo General Insurance Company. So, Subrata Mondal. And Subrata Mondal will be replacing H.O. Suri. Next, who has been recently appointed as the Financial Secretary of the Ministry of Finance? So, Tuhin Kanta Pandey, appointed as the Finance Secretary of the Ministry of Finance, and he will be replacing whom? He will be replacing T.V. Somnathan. Next, who has been recently appointed as the Controller of Personal Services in the Indian Navy? So, Vice Admiral Vineet McCarthy, right, has been recently appointed as the Controller of Personal Services in the Indian Navy. Next, who has been recently elected as the Chairperson of the Committee of Parliament on Official Language? So, Amit Shah, our Home Minister, right, he has been appointed as the Chairperson of the Committee of Parliament on Official Languages. And remember, 2024, it marks the 75th year since Hindi was accepted as the official language. Next, who has been recently appointed as the Chief Secretary of Arunachal Pradesh? So, Manish Kumar Gupta has been appointed as Chief Secretary of Arunachal Pradesh. He will be succeeding whom? He will be succeeding C.S. Dharmendra. Next, and we know that we saw that Dharmendra ji has been appointed as the Chief Secretary of Delhi. Next, who is said to be re-elected as the President of FIH for a second term? So, Mohammad Tayyab Ikram will be appointed as the President for the second term of FIH. Next, which of the following person is not one of the 6 senior advocates who were recently appointed by ACC to serve additional Solicitor Generals in Supreme Court of India? Among the following, who is not? So, Tushar Mehta. Rest all are them. Next, who has been recently appointed as the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of Galaxy Health Insurance? So, Gopal Srinivasan, right, has been appointed as Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of Galaxy Health Insurance. Next, name the Indian cricketer who has recently on board as brand ambassador of Shriram Finance Limited. So, Rahul Sharan Dravid, right? Rahul Dravid has been appointed as the brand ambassador of Shriram Finance Limited. Next, who has been recently appointed as the new Prime Minister of Jordan? So, Jafar Hassan appointed as the new Prime Minister of Jordan. Next, who has been recently appointed as the brand ambassador of the Ministry of Port, Shipping and Waterways? So, Manu Baka, the athlete, right? She is related to shooting and she has won bronze medals in the Olympic Games that were held recently in Paris. And she has been appointed as the brand ambassador of the Ministry of Port, Shipping and Waterways. Next, who has been recently elected as the president of the 68th General Conference of the International Atomic Energy Agency? So, Sang Wok Ham, right, has been elected as the president here of IAEA during the 68th General Conference of IAEA. Next, who has been recently appointed as the Director General of Narcotics Control Bureau, that is NCB. So, Anurag Garg has been appointed here as Director General. He will succeed whom? He will be succeeding here Anish Dayal Singh. Next, who has been recently appointed as the Director General of Aeronautics Development Agency, the autonomous body that comes under the Ministry of Defense? So, Jitendra J. Jadhav. He has been recently appointed as the Director General of ADA. Right, take a note of this. Next, who was sworn in as the 8th Chief Minister of Delhi in September 2024? So, Atishi, right, a senior leader of Aam Aadmi Party, took oath as the 8th Chief Minister of Delhi, right, and she was appointed by the President Draupadi Murmu ma'am, and Lieutenant Governor Vinay Kumar Saxena, he administered the oath and secrecy to office. She replaced whom? She replaced Arvind Kejriwal. And Atishi, she became the third woman to become the Chief Minister of Delhi.
Next, GST Council reduced the GST rate on cancer drug. These are the drugs, correct, on which the GST rate has been reduced from what to what. So earlier the GST rate was 12% on these drugs and now it has been reduced to just 5%. Right, take a note of this. Apart from this, if we talk about savory snacks, on savory snacks, the GST has been reduced from 18 to 12%. On metal scraps, the GST has been reduced from 18% to 12%. But on car seats, the GST has been increased from 18 to 28%. Next, which of the following points are correct with respect to the 20th meeting of the Maritime States Development Council held in Goa from 12th to 13th of September? If we look at the options here, option B and C is right, A is wrong. A is saying that the meeting witnessed the keel laying ceremony of the India's largest dredger, a 10,000 cubic meter trailer suction hopper dredger at Garden Reach Shipbuilders and Engineers Limited, built in collaboration with IHC Holland. Right, is it correct? Everything is right. It's just not the 10,000 cubic meter trailer suction hopper dredger, but it is 12,000 cubic meter trailer suction hopper dredger. Next, what is the new name of the Andaman and Nicobar Islands capital? Port Blair. Important question. So the new name here is Sir Shri Vijayapuram. Right, this Sri Vijayapuram, it represents India's victory in the freedom struggle, and we know that Andaman Nicobar and Port Blair, it plays a major role in India's development, in India's independence, correct, and now it has been renamed. Apart from this, if you remember, Ross Island, this is an island in Andaman, it was also renamed to Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose Dweep. And there was a Neil Island also. Neil Island and Havelock Islands of Andaman, they were also renamed. Neil Island was renamed to Shahid Dweep and Havelock Island was renamed to Swaraj Dweep. Right? Next, which country hosted the BRICS Literature Forum 2024? We just one more thing, these are the names that were renamed earlier, but recently it was Port Blair that has been renamed to Sri Vijayapuram. Next, which country hosted the BRICS Literature Forum? It is Russia that hosted the BRICS Literature Forum. Directly remember it. Next, which country hosted the G20 Agriculture Ministers Meet from 12th to 14th of September? It is Brazil that hosted the G20 Agriculture Ministers Meet from 12th to 14th of September 2024. Next, which railway station has been recently awarded the non-suburban Group 1 status by the Ministry of Railways? It is Vijayawada Junction Railway Station. It has been recently awarded with the NSG 01 status by the Ministry of Railways. And this status is given to those stations where the annual revenue is more than 500 crore rupees, or the number of passengers that are visiting that station is more than 20 lakh passengers per annum. So either of this criteria is full or satisfied, then that station is awarded with this NSG1 status, and it is Vijayawada Junction Railway Station. And where is this station located? It is in Vijayawada, that is in Andhra Pradesh. Next, who has been recently appointed as the new Prime Minister of Jordan? So Jafar Hassan has been appointed as the new Prime Minister of Jordan. Then if we talk about Keir Starmer, appointed as the new Prime Minister of UK, succeeding Rishi Sunak. Muhammad Yunus has been appointed he has been appointed as the Chief Advisor for the Bangladesh interim government, and he's a Nobel Prize winner also.
Next, which of the following points are correct with respect to the fourth edition of the Global Bio India held in New Delhi in September 2024? If we look at the options, all these three are rightly mentioned here. Remember the theme, it will be important. Biotech innovation and biotech manufacturing is the theme for the fourth edition of Global Bio India held in New Delhi. Next, name the online platform that was recently launched by the Ministry of Commerce and Industry to facilitate a direct and transparent channel to address trade and industry related issues. So, Jan Sunwai. This is the name of that online platform that was launched by the Ministry of Commerce and Industry that will be basically a direct and transparent channel that will be addressing the trade and industry related issues here. Right? This portal will streamline online services, right? Form filling, digital surveys, everything will be here. Next, which company has recently secured $7.2 billion for 7.2 billion rupees funding from Asian Development Bank and Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank for electric bus services expansion in India? So, which is it? It is JBM Ecolife Mobility Private Limited, right? They have secured 7.2 billion rupees funding from two organizations, Asian Development Bank and Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank, and this amount will be used to enhance the electric bus services in our India. Also, this funding will help us for the procurement of 650 electric buses that will reduce the traditional buses that run on your petrol or diesel. Next is name the football club team that recently won their maiden Durand Cup at the 133rd Indian Oil Durand Cup held in Kolkata, West Bengal. This Durand Cup is related to which sport? It is related to football, right? And which football club has won their maiden, that is their first ever victory in the Durand Cup? It is Northeast United Football Club. This time it was the 133rd edition of the Durand Cup sponsored by Indian Oil. Next, who has recently won the men's singles title at the US Open 2024? So, Jannik Sinner. Right, Jannik Sinner has won the men's single title at the US Open 2024. Take a note of this, important. And who won the women's singles title here? It was won by Aryna Sabalenka. Next, name the England cricketer who has recently announced his retirement from international cricket. So, Moeen Ali, right? He is an international cricketer from England who recently announced retirement. Next, India won dash medals in the Paris 2024 Paralympic Games and ranked 18th among 170 participating nations. So, India won a total of 29 medals in the Paris 2024 Paralympic Games and has ranked 18th among the 170 participating nations. From these 29 medals, 7 were gold, 9 silver, and 13 bronze. And India ranked at 18th position here. Next, the Olympic Council of Asia has recently included Yogasana as the demonstration sport in the 2026 Asian Games, which scheduled to be held where? So, these 2026 Asian Games are scheduled to be held where? It is in Japan. Correct? Take a note of this. Next, who has recently won the F1 Qatar Airways Azerbaijan Grand Prix? So, who won the Qatar Airways Azerbaijan Grand Prix? Oscar Piastri. Right, and Ferrari's Charles Leclerc was on the second position and Mercedes George Russell was on the third position. Next is which javelin thrower has finished second with a throw of 87.86 meters at the 2024 Wanda Diamond League finals in Brussels, Belgium. So who finished second here? And very famous Indian javelin thrower Neeraj Chopra finished second here. Next, who has recently won the F1 Singapore Airlines Singapore Grand Prix 2024 held at the Marina Bay Street Circuit in Singapore? So, Lando Norris, right? He has won the Singapore Airlines Grand Prix. Correct? Take a note of this. Then on Lando Norris, he drives for McLaren and he's a British racer. Then Max Verstappen, who drives for Red Bull, was on the second position and Oscar Piastri was at the third. Next, which country recently won the gold medal in both the open and women's section of the 45th International Chess Federation Chess Olympiad in Hungary, Budapest? So, India has recently won the gold medal in both open and women's section here. Next, where was the 7th edition of the annual men's tennis tournament Lever Cup 2024 held? So Lever Cup is related to which sport? Is related to tennis, and it was the 7th edition of the annual men's tennis tournament Lever Cup. It was held in Berlin, Germany. Correct, and this Lever Cup is played between Team Europe and Team World. Can you tell me this time who won from them? Comment below, this is your homework. Next, which country has recently won the 4th Intercontinental Cup 2024 football title by defeating India by 3-0 at Gandhi Mohana Chandra Balayogi Athletic Stadium in Hyderabad, Telangana? So, which country has won the 4th Intercontinental Cup 2024 football? It was won by Syria. This cup is held between Syria, India, and Mauritius. Right? The 4th edition of Intercontinental Cup. Next, which brand is the official sponsor of FIFA Women's World Cup 2027 that will be held in Brazil? So Lay's, the very famous chips brand, it is the sponsor for the FIFA's Women World Cup scheduled to be held in 2027 in Brazil. Next, name the Indian tennis player who recently won the men's double title along with Vijay Sundar Prashant in the finals of Association of Tennis Professionals 250 Hangzhou Open 2024. So, who is that tennis player? Jeevan, right? He won the men's double title along with Vijay Sundar Prashant here. Next, when was International Day of Sign Languages observed across the globe to support and protect the linguistic identity? It is 23rd of September. We observe International Day of Sign Languages that is observed across the globe to support and protect the linguistic identity. Also remember the first ever, or before moving on, what are these sign languages? Sign languages are basically the gestures that are made so that the deaf people, those who cannot hear, they can understand what we are trying to communicate. You must have seen on multiple channels, also on news channels also, especially in USA, when there is a information being provided to the general public, the person is also on the side. You will be seeing a person providing information using the sign languages. So it is for the deaf persons, correct? And it is a blue ribbon that symbolizes this International Day of Sign Languages. Next, which of the following schemes comes under Beti Bachao Beti Padhao campaign? It is Sukanya Smriddhi Yojana. Right? This is the name of the scheme that comes under Beti Bachao Beti Padhao campaign. Around 4.5 lakh accounts of Sukanya Smriddhi Yojana has been opened in the post office of North Gujarat region. Next, name the exercise that was recently organized by the National Disaster Management Authority and Southern Command of the Indian Army in Chennai. It is IKEA. Right? So, NDMA, in collaboration with the Southern Command of the Indian Army, they organized a 2-day national symposium by the name Exercise IKEA. That is a disaster management exercise. It was held in Chennai. Next, which ministry has recently launched the 2nd edition of the Tobacco Free Youth Campaign 2.0 in New Delhi? It is Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. Right? They have launched the 2nd edition of the Tobacco Free Youth Campaign 2.0 in New Delhi. This was held at Lady Hardinge Medical College in New Delhi during the event which was launched. This campaign will be running, that is your Tobacco Free Youth Campaign, for 60 days, and as the name suggests, to make sure that the universities, the colleges, the educational institutions are free from tobacco and people should not participate in consuming tobacco. Also, the participants of this event will take a pledge, that is, say no to tobacco. Next, which country has recently assumed the chairmanship of the Asian Organization of Supreme Audit Institutions for 24 to 27 term? So, which country has assumed the chairmanship here? It is our India that has assumed the chairmanship here of this Asian Organization of Supreme Audit Institutions for 2024 to 2027 term, and Girish Chandra Murmu has been serving as the 14th Comptroller and Auditor General of India since August 2020. Apart from this, the 16th assembly of this ASO SCI was hosted by the Chief Comptroller General of India that was held in New Delhi. Next is which state has recently started 530 crore rupees water supply project funded by Asian Development Bank to improve the drinking water infrastructure? It is Tripura. Right? Manik
Shah. He is the Chief Minister of Tripura, and he laid the foundation for the Asian Development Bank funded 350 crore rupees project that is for the supply of clean drinking water. This project will be helping more than 12 cities of Tripura, and you will be seeing here various communities of Tripura will also be taught about the water harvesting techniques, irrigation techniques, so that they can benefit and they can be skilled in these water harvesting techniques. Next, which public sector bank has recently partnered with easemytrip.com to launch India's first co-branded travel debit card? That is your Bank of Baroda, right? So Bank of Baroda partnered with easemytrip.com to launch India's first co-branded travel debit card. This is basically for the frequent travelers and those spending on entertainment and lifestyle. Who has been recently elected as the president of Sri Lanka? So Anura Kumara Disanke has been elected as the president of Sri Lanka now and is the 9th president of Sri Lanka. He will succeed Jayant Jasuria as the presidential secretariat in Colombo, Sri Lanka, right? Correct. Jayant Jasuria, remember, he is the Chief Justice, correct? And he was sworn in by the Chief Justice of Sri Lanka, Jayant Jasuria. Moving on, who was appointed as the next Chief of Air Staff in the Indian Air Force with effect from 30th of September 2024. So who was appointed as the next Chief of Air Staff in the Indian Air Force? Amarpreet Singh. Take a note of this important question, students. Amarpreet Singh was appointed as the next Chief of Air Staff in the Indian Air Force with effect from 30th of September 2024. He will be succeeding Air Chief Marshal Vivek Ram Chaudhary. And remember, if we talk about Amarpreet Singh, he is a recipient of Param Vashisht Seva Medal, also Ati Vashisht Seva Medal. Next, which company has recently received the approval from the Reserve Bank of India for the amalgamation of Aditya Birla Finance Limited with itself to create large unified NBFC? So which is that company? It is Aditya Birla Capital Limited. So Aditya Birla Capital Limited, this company has received the approval from RBI for the amalgamation with Aditya Birla Finance Limited. Next, who has recently won the F1 Singapore Airlines, that is your Singapore Grand Prix 2024 title held at Marina Bay Street Circuit in Singapore. So it is Lando Norris, right? He is a driver for McLaren. He is a British racing driver and he has won the F1 Singaporean Grand Prix. Where was this held? That was held at the Marina Bay Street Circuit, that is in Singapore. On second position was Max Verstappen, who drives for Red Bull, and on third position was Oscar Piastri, who drives for McLaren. Next, when was World Rivers Day observed across the globe? So on 22nd of September, we observe World Rivers Day. Generally, this day is observed on the 4th Sunday of September month. And it is basically to raise awareness about the importance of river. And this year it was on 22nd of September we observed it. For the first time, this day was observed in 2005. Next, when was World Rhino Day observed across the globe? So World Rhino Day observed on again 22nd of September, and it is to basically raise awareness about the rhinoceros. Also remember, this is to create awareness about the 5 rhino species that are left in the wild and to protect them. For the first time, this day was observed in 2010. In India, if we talk about these rhinos, they are primarily found in Assam, West Bengal, UP. Then on 10th of August, we observe World Lion Day. On 29th, International Tiger Day. On June 17, it is World Crocodile Day. Next is, which company laid the foundation stone for India's first CO2 to methanol pilot plant in Pune, Maharashtra? It is Thermex Limited. This is the name of the company that has laid the foundation stone for India's first carbon dioxide to methanol. That means carbon dioxide will be converted into methanol in this plant that is in Pune, Maharashtra. Correct? Moving on. Which company has recently introduced the industry's first biometric authentication solution for card payment, that is FlashPay? So FlashPay was introduced by PayU. It was introduced during the 5th edition of the Global FinTech Festival that was held at Geo World Convention Center in Mumbai, Maharashtra. Next, Which state has recently topped the 6th edition of the State Food Safety Index developed by FASI? So which is that state that secured the top position? It is Kerala that has secured the top position in the 6th edition of the State Food Safety Index developed by FASI. Correct? Mark it, important. And here Kerala has achieved over 100% of their inspections target for FY25. Moving on. Name the movie that was recently entered into the 97th Academy Awards, that is your Oscars 2025, for the Best International Feature Film category. It is which? Tell me. Name that movie. What is the name of that movie? The movie is named as Lapata Ladies. Right? This Lapata Lady is the India's official entry to Oscars 2025, that is the 97th Academy Award, that will be held on 2nd of March 2025 in Los Angeles, California. Moving on. Name the space capsule which landed in Kazakhstan with Roscosmos cosmonauts Nikolai Chubb and Oleg Konakov and NASA's astronaut Tracy Dyson from the International Space Station in September 2024. So what is the name of that space capsule that landed in Kazakhstan with two cosmonauts of Roscosmos, that is Russia's space agency, and one astronaut from the NASA space agency? The name of it is Soyuz MS-25. They landed from International Space Station. Then one more thing, remember Rumi 1, remember this is or we can say it was India that has successfully used the first reusable hybrid rocket, and the name of that rocket is Rumi 1. Very important, right? Then apart from this, Daiichi 4, remember it is Japan that launched this Earth observation satellite by the name Daiichi 4, not 1, Daiichi 4. Next, to which company Defense Institute of Physiology and Allied Sciences, that is DIPAS, has recently handed over the critical high altitude sustenance technologies? It is Power Grid Corporation of India. Correct? Take a note of this direct question. Moving on. Who launched the book titled खाकी में स्थित प्रयागा एक IPS अधिकारी की स्मृतियां एवं अनुभव, authored by Anil Rotori, former Director General Police of Uttarakhand? So who launched the book? It was launched by Pushkar Singh Dhami. Pushkar Singh Dhami, he is the Chief Minister of Uttarakhand. Right? And this book basically aims to guide the young officers on facing the challenges during their police service. Which city has recently hosted Indian Defence Aviation Expo 2024? So it is Jodhpur, Rajasthan. Right? It hosted Indian Defence Expo, or we can say India Defence Aviation Expo. It was held in Jodhpur, Rajasthan. Apart from this, the phase 2 of the exercise, that is Tarang Shakti, was also inaugurated and held in Jodhpur. And who is our defense minister? Rajnath Singh. He inaugurated this defense expo as well as inaugurated this exercise, that is Tarang Shakti. Apart from this, remember in Umroi, Meghalaya, nomadic elephant. This is the name of the exercise that was held between Indian Army and Mongolian Army, and it was held on 16th of July, and it was concluded on 16th of July. And apart from this nomadic elephant, this was the 16th edition of this exercise. Next, who has recently inaugurated Semicon India 2024 at India Expo Mart in Greater Noida, UP? So Narendra Modi, our Prime Minister of India. He is the third consecutive time Prime Minister of our India. This is 18th Lok Sabha, and he inaugurated this Semicon India 2024. Where was this held? It was held at India Expo Mart in Greater Noida, Uttar Pradesh. This Greater Noida, friends, remember it is one of the most emerging market in today's world. The real estate prices here has also increased a lot. Right? Then if we talk about this Semicon India, this was a 3-day long conference that was organized by India Semiconductor Mission in partnership with SEMI. Then there was a theme for this Semicon India that you should remember, that is shaping the semiconductor finance. This is the theme on which this Semicon India was held in Greater Noida, Uttar Pradesh. Right? Next. Which ministry has recently relaxed the norms for the expenditure exceeding 500 crore rupees to boost capital expenditure that is estimated at 11.11 lakh crore for the financial year 25? So it is Ministry of Finance. Correct? Ministry of Finance has relaxed the norms for the expenditures exceeding 500 crore rupees in order to accelerate the capex that is estimated at 11.11 or 11.11 lakh crore for the financial year FY25. This will give boost to the government spending. The relaxation is allowed to subject to strict compliance by all ministries, and also the bulk expenditures items having value more than 2,000 crore rupees were to be timed during the second fortnight in the last month of the quarter. Next, RBI clarified that the overseas citizens of India cardholders are now eligible for education loan from Indian banks as long as they are eligible, or as long as they are residing in India. So the overseas cardholders who are residing in India, right, they can now avail education loan, and this education loan can be availed by from Indian banks. Correct? Take a note of this. Right? Only the condition is that these OCI card holders, they need to reside in India at the time of they will be applying for loan. Correct? And also remember, at present the banks that are providing such facilities are SBI, HDFC and ICICI Bank. Next, which organization partnered with Indian Navy that has conducted the second consecutive flight test of vertical launch short range surface to air missile? This is DRDO, Defense Research and Development Organization. Correct? DRDO, they have conducted the second consecutive flight test of vertical launch short range surface to air missile along with Indian Navy. Moving on. Name the state-of-the-art Kalvari Submarines Escape Training Facility that recently commissioned by the Indian Navy at INS Satavahana in Visakhapatnam, Andhra Pradesh. So what is the name of it? It is Vinitra. Correct? It is the name of the Vinitra is the Kalvari Submarine Escape Training Facility that was recently commissioned by Indian Navy at INS Satavahana, right? That is in Visakhapatnam, Andhra Pradesh. It was inaugurated by whom? It was inaugurated by Vice Admiral Rajesh Pedkar. Right? And this Vinitra, this is a facility that will help build confidence and provide training to the submariners. Next, when was the National Engineer and Apophis Day? Correct? Or we can say, just remember, when was the National Engineers Day observed across India to commemorate the birth anniversary of Bharat Ratna Sir Moksha Gundam Vishwarayan? Right? So on his birth anniversary, Sir Moksha Gundam's birth anniversary, we observe National Engineers Day. It is observed on 15th of September. Right? And the first ever National Engineers Day was observed in 1968. Correct? And Sir Moksha Gundam, he was honored with Bharat Ratna in 1955 for his contribution in the field of engineering. Apart from this, remember, when do we observe World Journalist Day? World Sports Journalist Day is observed on 2nd July. Next is United Nations International Day for the Preservation of the Ozone Layer is annually observed across the globe on which day? So UN International Day for the Preservation of the Ozone Layer is annually observed across the globe on 16th of September to spread awareness about the importance of the ozone layer. The day also creates importance about the ozone layer, that is by O3. Right? There are 3 molecules of oxygen. This helps us to prevent the ultraviolet radiation that is coming directly from the sun. Right? This is colorless. Ozone is colorless, odorless, and it plays an important role in our climate change as it gets depleted because of the chlorofluorocarbons and greenhouse gas emissions.